What's up, guys? We are back. The grist is pretty much all mixed together. There's nothing stuck at the bottom. There's no more chunks in here, so we're gonna bring it back to the burner. And we're gonna set it on 8. And we're gonna do these hops first. Actually, we're gonna do the barley first. So you get your little, I guess you could call them cheese bags. Oh, they even have some barley in there still from last time. Just gonna open the whole thing. Just like that. Pour it in there. Last time I used too much, and I don't think it got all this stuff. But yeah, so I'm just gonna do it like that. And then let me bring this down a little bit so you can see. And you just tie it off. You don't want to do too big of a knot, like too tight of one, because then you still got to reuse this. So I usually just tie it like that to where it won't come undone when it's in there, but I like to give it just one. Don't tighten it too tight though, and just toss it in there and stir it. It's like making tea almost. And you just stir it. And right now I'm gonna put some molasses in there. I'll tell you what, this stuff smells awful. Oh man, that'll wake you up. That's like smelling salts. Jeez. Alright, we're gonna turn this up just a little bit more. Alright, and with your molasses. I used to use just like a measuring cup, but I just said, you know what, whatever. Just put it in there. And then put the cap back on. Pretty sure there's some sugars in this, right? Protein 0, sugar's 15 grams, so it's some sugar. Yeah, then we just stir it around. Get everything all mixed. Now the color's changing. Now it looks like a good old school beer wort. But yeah, see? Yeah, see how the color's changed? Went from looking like white to like a witch's brew. And now we're gonna put the hops in. And yeah. You get your other, I call them hop bags, but people call them like cheese bags or whatever for making yogurt. So yeah. I haven't opened one of these, it's just it's been sitting out and it hasn't been in the fridge, so I don't think they're good anymore. So, yeah. One second. Alright, I'm back. This is the Cascade ones, Alpha 6.1%, hop pellets, aroma of floral, grapefruit, grassy, herbal, and pine. Typical beer style, IPA, amber ale, or pale ale. Ooh, man, that'll wake you up. I'll throw a few pellets just in there. Oh, it's just impossible to open these things. Alright. I'm just going to tie it the way I did the last one. And just toss it in there. And stir. Now, when it comes to the hops, you are probably going to have some overflowing. Oh, God, my hip. But yeah, you're going to have some overflowing, so make sure it's at a decent temperature so that way that doesn't happen. Because you don't want that to happen. And if one of these bags does open, you can always just strain it. I mean, if you leave everything in, you actually get a better chance of a higher alcohol content, just because the yeast is just going to eat all the sugars from it. So. I think that's the barley. Yep. And you really don't want the yeast to fry at the bottom. You don't want it to burn. So. You just want it to, it's like a tea. It's like a little witch's brew that you're just making, and you're just throwing in whatever you want. So, I got that in there. We're gonna crack this open. Ooh, that smells good. And this one, I'm not gonna put in a bag. I'm just gonna dump it in there. Like I said, I'll show you guys how to strain it. But yeah, so just take some pieces of that, throw it in there. All right, now I have some for later, for next time. And we're just gonna let that sit, so I'll be right back. Yeah, check this out. I've never had one of these before. I did get a new siphoner though, so that way it won't pick up the sediment and just grabs the beer. But this goes to the spigot, and this, you go like that, and it fills the beer, and then when you release, it stops. It stops pouring the beer, which is awesome. But yeah, so I've always wanted one of those, so I finally got one. Came with the kit, which is awesome. Yeah. I mean, look at that. Look at how fresh that hop is. Look at all that. And yes, this will be strained. And just so you guys know, a lot of this doesn't go to waste, okay? So, I usually use this for my plants outside. Really good for the soil. It definitely helps the soil. It enriches it somehow, but really, really helps your plants grow better. You know? It's like throwing an orange into the soil and it just breaks down. And yeah, so that's basically what hops do. So yeah. So if you guys are ever making beer, just toss what you have left by your tree or one of your rose bushes or something, you know? But yeah. Yeah. And don't worry, I do have a beer. Ugh. I think one time I actually did pour my beer into this thing. But yeah. This is probably my 4th or 5th time making beer. I've hit some roadblocks with beer. Sometimes it doesn't produce the alcohol that you're looking for. But you know, you just have to keep at it. Don't stop. Don't stop. Don't stop because you failed. There's no failure unless you learn from what your mistakes were. So, just like there's no mistakes unless you learn from them. So, our whole life we're going to run into roadblocks. Just keep on trying to get through those roadblocks and, you know, you'll make it to the other side. So, yeah. Message. If you guys don't know what movie that's from, you guys are way too young and probably shouldn't be making beer. But yes, I'm kind of excited about this. I'm gonna turn up the heat a little bit more and let it come to a boil. But yeah. And always make sure, like, when you have it on a boil, just keep stirring it. Keep stirring it. You don't want any of the malt at the bottom to burn. Because then, I mean, the beer is still going to taste kind of good. It's just not going to taste great. So, you don't want burnt beer. Trust me. You won't eat a burnt cookie or burnt toast. You don't want a burnt beer. So, yeah.